The learning that goes on in schools is wonderful, and you know, we've got a wonderful education system, but I've always felt that as a geography teacher that there was something, there was a better way to do geography. There's a better way to give students an opportunity to connect with their world. The Global Perspectives program here at Stelly's basically evolved over the last 14 years to what it is today. Today basically the kids will start in grade 11, and then in grade 12 they'll do the global part of the course, and learning by experience, learning by doing, and being in places and appreciating culture and so on.
We call it Her Farm. We've given it its own logo, its own branding, and its own slogan, which is growing hope in the Himalayas. But to those of us here at the Mountain Fund, it's always going to be Stelly's farm. I mean, you know, Stelly's has been the driving force behind this place. If not for Stelly's, it simply wouldn't exist. And, you know, so to us, it's always going to be Stelly's farm.
These past 3 weeks in Nepal have been some of the most memorable but yet foreign weeks I've ever had in my life. It's incredible to walk in a place and feel so out of place and feel so different to everybody else. Walking around some of the temples, the Hindu temples and the Buddhist temples, you really feel like you are a stranger, and that's something I've never experienced before. And maybe it's because as North Americans, as Westerners, we're not as comfortable with their cultures or as aware of their cultures as we think we are, and I think that's something that we can all learn from, and we can go home and we can educate other people on.
This Global Perspectives trip to Nepal, it really helped increase my well-roundedness as a person in an international sense. I found I really got to appreciate the difference in cultures that we have globally, and it definitely made me appreciate how well we have it in North American society and all that we take for granted.
I just think it's so crazy that the people in Nepal are so limited on their water and their food and just their daily life, but the fact that they're so happy, like no matter what they do, like wherever you turn there's still people laughing and smiling, even though like they don't have it as easy as we do at all. It's just incredible to see that.
This trip really just helped me experience things that I wouldn't have experienced if I had done it on my own. Like for example, the trip to the homestay village at Patale, I was not looking forward to it at all when we went, and it ended up being one of my favorite things of the entire trip. So I just wouldn't have done that if I had been on my own.
The trip left me with a newfound respect and appreciation for what I have back home, and opened my eyes to how the majority of the world really lives, truly giving me a global perspective.
After spending the past 3 weeks in Nepal, something I'm taking home is how simply they live here. They all have the bare minimum, but yet they're still so happy. And just back at home in Canada, it's insane how much we have and just how many unresolved issues we have. Here in Nepal, they have so little, but it's just so raw and beautiful here. I really enjoyed it.
This experience has helped shed light on our current health care system that we have today. We're so lucky to have easy access to the medicine we have. While in Nepal, there's people who are dying on the streets and they just can't afford the medicine. So in Canada, it's such an easy access to get to, and it's just sad to see that.
My time in Nepal, I had such amazing experiences, and one thing that I'll take back with me is that the Nepalese live such a simple life, and they are happy and content with what they have, which is close to nothing. And back home, we always need like all the newest stuff and like the newest gadgets, and we feel like it's a necessity, but I feel if we just live a simpler life, it will be just as good as what we have now.
What I have learned from my experience of going to Nepal is that both Canada and Nepal have many different positives and negatives, and not to idealize one or the other because of what they have or don't have, but just accept them both.
I think this trip has been eye-opening. I have a new perspective of everything we take for granted, like power, electricity, beds, housing, traffic, environment. It's just really opened my eyes of how grateful we really are living in Canada, and you know, beautiful place.
This year's Nepal trip has been amazing. It's really opened my eyes to the amount of opportunities we have back home as compared to the Nepali people and the struggles they go through every day. And we should really respect the privileges we have living back in Canada.
My time in Nepal definitely opened my eyes to life in third world countries, and it made me realize that you don't necessarily need to have a lot to be happy.
Our experience in Nepal has allowed me to achieve an enhanced appreciation for the aspects of life that often fall muffled by the expectation that they will always be there. And I found that until being placed in a situation where these things are removed, it can be difficult to fully understand the importance of a community and the attainment of happiness and less materialistic values. Nepal has offered us a new perspective on the matters of life that truly need cherishing.
I feel that this trip has given me a greater understanding for how the Nepali people are required to live the same way from generations to generations. They pass on cultures and traditions and lifestyles, which is so different from how we live in Canada, where we don't have to live the same way as our parents. We can change jobs and careers. We don't have to do the same thing, which gives us huge opportunities to pursue whatever we feel like we want to.
This trip has helped me discover a lot more about myself than I knew before, and I think the experiences we have will help tailor what choices I choose later on in life.
During this trip, I've developed a greater appreciation for the life that I have and the things that I have, and this trip also inspires me to do more things like this to help people less fortunate than me.
This trip has taught me to value what I have a lot more, and it's also taught me to live more simply.
I feel like this trip has really allowed me to experience and understand the culture of Nepal, and I am really grateful for that.
The reason I took Global Perspectives was to have an opportunity to make my mother proud, who unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago, and having been on this trip, I feel as if I would have done that, which is an incredible opportunity.
For a long time I've sort of wanted to live in a better way and do more to help people, and I think the experiences I've had on this trip have definitely given me the motivation to do that.
Nepal taught me a lesson in idealism, in the sense that I thought we were going to go to Nepal and we were just going to get a new perspective on how lucky we are, and that's true, but I feel like it also taught us a lesson in the sense that Canada is also imperfect.
After seeing the high village top mountains in Manku, it just taught me really that it's the simple things that matter.
I brought back new perspectives on our life here. I see different things differently as than I would before. And I don't know, I feel more humble to be around all this stuff, and I find I need less than what I did before, because you can really live with less and be even more happy.
Going to Nepal, I did expect foreign experiences and cultural differences, but I didn't expect coming back and just adjusting to the things back home that were routine before, and I guess just appreciating what we had here and missing everything back in Nepal.
This trip was a lot about overcoming challenges for me. In these past 3 weeks I've definitely proved myself what I can accomplish with teamwork and with something I believe in, and I believe I'm taking home a little piece of everyone with me after this trip. The Nepali people, they're so happy with the little that they have, and I think that in Canada we think of too many things as necessities, and so I think that it'll be really beneficial for us to have that for the rest of our lives, to just know that you can be happy with just a little bit, not a lot.
On one hand, you want to appreciate everything that our society gives us, and it definitely does give you a new appreciation for it, but it also causes you to reevaluate some of the things that are kind of pushed upon us in our society, like, I don't know, going down to the store and buying a new outfit that you don't really need, or getting the latest, electronic device that isn't really necessary, that they can live with without there, and that we can definitely live with without here.
From the start of this trip, we got to learn all the different religions, the different cultures, but by the end of the trip, right now, I find myself thinking I know more about myself than I could have done all the years I've been going to school.
Even before taking this trip, I've been pretty aware about the inequality in the world and how fortunate we are as Canadians, but I never really knew what to do with it and how to make a change, and so I think the greatest thing Nepal has given me was the chance to finally put my intentions into action and and see them through, and so I'm so grateful for that, and yeah, I'm incredibly blessed that I got to go on Global Perspectives.
I think it'll be the best part of my high school experience for sure.